Still inside the studios, we get Lavalie, we are the Executive Director for Institute for Governance Reform as Yeripa, one of Redline. Today we'll look inside a project we then implement with 5 civil society then and 6 districts then as way for promote accountability in other districts here. But firstly, you know, one of the civil society them we don't look at different issues them. One get for do with democracy, accountability and the rest. At this point, let me start off with that. How you go assess the country in democracy?
Thank you very much. Good morning again, Fambul and Radio Land. So me not the normally working sit on na radio. We na IGR would hardly give opinions. We can normally give waiting people and view about something, but the issues that we then they at hand. So today we talk about democracy and democracy in Sierra Leone. And why this important? This important because now they make all man get say. Now they make all man free for do what you want for do. You could talk with you want for talk without somebody not good attack you on net. So now the thing and they would call democracy. But all of this would talk about democracy for translate into people and welfare. In fact, you can get some people like you talk say, you better not get them dictator where they do well for you than democracy. But you get arguments where they talk say democracy fine. So the Afrobarometer look at the last 10 years how Sierra Leone democracy we don't go from 2012 to 2022. 2023 not the deal because 2023 now we get this election we get tussle over. But we look at democracy from 2012 to 2022, 10 years, and it's clear that in then 10 years and the Sierra Leoneans and they really talk say one democracy. They ask the question, say, when I want one man rule, Sierra Leoneans they reject one man rule. When I want one party rule, 89% of Sierra Leoneans say no, we don't want one party rule. When I prefer democracy to any kind of government, 84% of Sierra Leoneans talk say no form of government no they will want not democracy. And what they mean? We want party rule. After 5 years, the citizens they can vote whether they want it or they don't want it. And that change of government or for retained power not to by force, it get forbid through peaceful means. So now democracy. In fact, we ask the question, say, you want military rule? 77% of Sierra Leoneans talk say we reject military rule. In fact, now that make a lot of Sierra Leoneans they don't be worried, they don't be surprised where coup can be in November last year. So that coup not go sit down because when you watch Freetown, largely na APC 9. You know, then they vote for an African. So it's easy for them if cool they be, then jump down street, say no, we don't want SLPP. But you see, everybody sit down, say no, not to this want. If Mother Bio, SLPP, then they do well, election they come, we go pull them. So that's Sierra Leone and democracy. But it's different for let people that want democracy and different for let them satisfy with that. So this Afrobarometer study it also deal with whether people are satisfied with democracy. In fact, you ask say this democracy to what extent we wanna get democracy. So you get about 70% of Sierra Leoneans talk say with democracy is either full or you get minor problems. Then they cham they get some people that talk say today I go the courts not give me right. You know this election here the election not too perfect. So you get democracy, but you get minor problem. But the most important thing, really important, now how satisfied they. And when you talk about, say, we implement a project with which you said USAID in local councils, it's actually for response to them here. Because now under 60%, I just 56% of Sierra Leoneans there, they talk say they're satisfied with democracy. So you get a good number of Sierra Leoneans when they talk say we live in a democracy but we're not satisfied with them. And you begin to see members of parliament. We ask the survey they ask people and whether you the member of parliament or elected officials that they listen to you. And this not worrying. Now only 19%. That if you count every 5 Sierra Leoneans, now one number we go talk to say the member of parliament they listen to you to them. Now only 23% they talk to the local council they listen to them. And then why are they closer to citizens? Now then why are they if I don't go to a hospital, my nurse not give me medicine, or they say something don't happen, me police don't treat me bad, the nearest official who I for go talk to now my local councillor or my member of parliament. So if only 19% or 20% they talk, say then groups they listen to, it's a problem. In fact, the last bit within the report look like now corruption in the presidency. Whether when they say presidency, not to just the president, they mean the president, the presidency, all that and they around the presidency. They ask if corruption they within the presidency. So in the last 10 years, so you look at 15% they say corruption not inside the presidency, but you get 31% they say some of them corrupt. Then 47% they talk say most and all of them corrupt. So in fact, we combine the one way they say some and the one way they say most or all of them, it'll go to about 78% of people then get concerned about corruption in the presidency. Citizens then only 15% they talk say it's none. So but in all of this, so you see say you begin to see why satisfaction no go there. When you ask them whether people can get political freedoms, 98% they talk say 97% they talk say we choose for free, we free for votes for who I want vote for. And indeed Sierra Leone at that. Okay. The person we want vote for, nobody can coerce you say can't vote for me. Even chief them. And first we talk say chief 90 show that if you vote for. But nowadays even chief them. You free for join any political party or any organization, over 90% they say yes. The last election, was it free and fair?
Right.
Just imagine, about 82% they talk say the last election be free and fair. This now 2018 election will not do it one way the capture within people in view, but 2023 elections.
All right, freedom of speech very important, and in any country with democracy, they now one of the things that they we supposed for exist. But for Salone, even though we get democracy, but freedom of speech and expression still an issue. For example, we see how we are in this BNTM police be all a lawyer we comment on the president's bill in page na X. At this moment with democracy, do you think say we forget some of the issues there?
Yeah, I think so that's an important question about whether freedom of speech day. So we, in fact, now I make all the talk about democracy. You get 56% of people and I talk say they're satisfied with democracy. Democracy get problems. So you look at freedom of speech. Some people and they're free for talk. You get a lot of things that way people are free for talk. If you Sludge been pool one released last year, where then they celebrate. I think now this year, where then they celebrate World Press Freedom Day, and they actually outline areas them where they get challenges with the media. So I think say all of them here when they talk about challenges that people get with democracy, the freedom and not to just journalists. If you go now, the side people in the exercise freedom more now online, now social media. So you see say some teenage people they talk now social media, some people they attack them, and so then they create concern about democracy. But when you look at Sierra Leone compared to many countries in Africa in terms of freedom and rights, the kind of things that will get freedom for say, you get Boko other countries that will not get freedom for say. So that make then isolated incidents the way they happen, like something happen to journalists, so people then react to them, or a public official, you react to them bad. It finally always find with civil society, especially the one represented by the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, and take them very strongly because they intend they affect to democracy. We also get a situation where say, even though people then free for join for associate with some party them, you get something in the way in your party some particular party then stronghold. Some people are not free for talk the thing the way they want for talk. Then get limitation. Like for example, if you dey Pujan or if you dey Bombali, SLPP, they Pujan, APC, especially during elections, there are limitations as to which for talk and how for talk. We don't see people and then they attack some people and because of them political persuasions. So democracy not ever perfect. Now for that when they do this analysis, now whether it's full democracy or not democracy, we get minor problems. Okay. 69% of these people they talk say yes, we get democracy, but get minor problems.
Okay. From the survey we wanna do, you talk about corruption and corruption at the presidency. And according to this figure we give, it says 78%. We combine the total figure, 78% people get concerned about corruption at the presidency. Yeah. We don't see past and present government the attention where they don't put in the fight against corruption, but yet still people get concerned about corruption.
Yes, it is. In fact, we like the question now whether corruption in at the presidency. 31% they say yes, some of them. 47% say most or all of them. So we combine some and most. It's 78%, which is really concerning. So basically, it's really about how we go make let citizens they become convinced that what they talk about corruption is really about leading by example. So even though Sierra Leone make enormous strides, and not get me wrong, Sierra Leone make enormous strides in the fight against corruption, because when you watch this 10-year study, the worst year for corruption was 2015. I mean, the best year for corruption, the best year for the fight against corruption was around 2018. So with the CC, with the go BN in the fight against corruption. So now make with the numbers that they come, a fine for let the state become more responsive. Say, we don't get glory days in corruption, but citizens they get more concerned about perceptions of corruption. Right. And so then figures and then disturbing. Yes,
in line with the corruption issue, how you come about for getting then data there, because if you look from Shaka Stephen in time to now, still we get issue of corruption around the presidency. We see what happen with the Auditor General and in deputy, just because of there is issue of forgery and other issues. Them we see how governments take them, and again inside 2009 the audit service alone audits President Kromana over 600 million, I stand to be corrected, been lost around in office. So how you come about for get this data wherein people say 31% of the presidency some corruption there around that?
So this is not likely perception, and perception important because that's so the person feel. So query that person in perception. So it's not just about what they say, but how people then they see what they say. So the way the survey is covered, we always cover 1,200 citizens across Sierra Leone, and now this is not the standard methodology where Afrobarometer they apply across multiple countries. Now that make the data not only robust, but it's comparable within country but across countries. So now then people here they talk, say this not then concern, and then people here they talk, now then people here the perception, nine we aggregate, nine form this now only 7% they talk say they don't know or they refuse to answer, and 15% they talk say nobody now within the presidency they not feel say there is corruption within the presidency. Because this data is collected every 2 years, it's meant for let we see how they convince people about with the fight against corruption. How do we mobilize them along their lines, and so you get rule of law, whether the president actually ignore the law, whether the courts then they ignore the law. So you get 65% they talk say no, the courts they ignore the law. Okay. Yeah, about 65% they talk say parliament no, they ignore the law. So you get the beauty about this report in terms of Sierra Leone appreciation of democracy, but you get the downside of this report when are really largely around concerns about accountability.
And Lavalie, as we talk about a project where they implement now 6 districts, and the projects now building accountability systems through empowered communities project where 5 civil society them they do. Give a background into this project. What did they brought?
Thank you very much. So this building accountability systems through empowered communities within the call base now a project where IGR they implement with 4 other colleague civil society organizations them. We're at the Budget Advocacy Network, the Center for Accountability and the Rule of Law, independent radio network with an IRN and the 50-50 group. So now we all come together for see how we can support 6 districts, then Western Rural Districts, Kono Districts, we're in a Kono City Council and Kono District Council, but largely in the District Council now they deal with Moyamba District, Falaba District, Karina District, and Tonkolili District. In fact, you begin to wonder why then district there. Where you watch poverty, a lot of data they show say poverty levels, then district there na the highest in terms of poverty levels. So USAID now they support this this project. In fact, this is not the first time this for you really get a local organization. They get a bigger grant from the USAID for implement project like this. So it's fully local. So we say thank you to USAID for the kind of localization drive way then they uphold and maintain. And we only hope say other organizations, other civil society organizations, then will benefit as well. And this kind of partnership necessary because we actually need for see how they come together from time to time for support organizations where can apply for grants instead of just having international organizations. How do we get local civil society organizations? So that are the beauty about this. We don't talk quite a lot about democracy and democracy as an ideal, but democracy can fail people. So earlier in una program we see the one minister they actually go share breast now to a political party. As a matter of fact, so people in the talk say democracy they fail. Now some of the failings and because as a matter of fact, citizens therefore really be strong for buy their own rest. Therefore strong for deliver the health care. We can understand where you go distribute, you go distribute maybe rest, you go distribute medicine, like what happened so now Wellington, then disasters the way they happen, whether or not flood, whether or not these people that can need emergency relief item, you go distribute them. But we don't see say we can actually left for see say the machinery of government they work effectively, then we see say look give handout to people then. So what in base they do when are building accountability systems to empowered communities, base they try for build the base so that citizens can work with authorities for respond to service delivery. So the essence two big objectives now in base gets. One now for promote service delivery, especially healthcare, education and agriculture with other services. Then the other one now for let the 6 local councils who they work with, let them get improved revenue. So it's about revenue and services. So we want to see how services go be effective, and we want to see how citizens and back will get responsibility when I for pay tax to government for make sure say because service is effective, you get more citizens than willing for pay taxes to government. Okay. So you see say in this project with a support local councils for get revenue. Budget advocacy network band, for example, band the work extensively with the councils then like Western Rural for let we see how we can just make let the council revenue increase. You get for see say local council revenue na Western Rural get for increase by over 500%. So you see say 50-50 they work with women's organizations and women's coalitions for make sure say then women's groups then they and young girls then priorities are felt in local development plans. IGR the lead in the development of local development plans and it actually provide data. So you go see say early this year base work with the Ministry of Local Government for launch what they call the first term local government services tracker. So right now any Sierra Leonean within at any district then you go na www.lgst.org for let you see what you council they do, www.slgst.org for let you see what you council they do. So all what that you council want do, what you Kono want do, whether na culvert you want build, whether we don't done for develop the local development plans, you go actually see them.
Okay.
Not them plans and the IRN they support the media engagement. So the interaction between local councils and citizens, between central government and citizens. So IRN Day for support that one day. Of course, the Center for Accountability and Rule of Law, all accountability forums, accountability issues, the architecture around the project. Now, Carl and the help for make sure that they happen.
Okay.
So it's a big experiment. We will try for see, we will try for do, for let we see how. Because first then, people in Kifil say the true meaning of civil society. Now, how much they holla by authorities. But this project they talk say the true meaning of civil society. Now, we not talk say no holla, but how all that holla they translate into results.
Okay.
So we get results that they measure. We say by, for example, how would they increase local revenue, like ban. So that shout we ban the shout. How they at the end of the day, this project get for measured by the increase in how they make sure say beginning within they under 5. Now the district they will they work. Okay. How they work with the councils them for make sure say we reduce maternal mortality,
right. We
increase education levels. Yes.
All right. One key thing before we take break inside the program, where the Public Account Committee, this PNTM, find out now all the councillor will then go na lack of revenue generation. Now this project seems so on the look how for make them councillor able improve their revenue generation at this moment. What's in the structure of them councillor?
Well, the way we look at revenue for most of them councils is really poor. Of course, if you look at revenue in a Freetown City Council, it will even combine like about 8-9 councils together. Because Freetown City Council, not just because population big, but Freetown City Council is much more organized and structured in terms of revenue generation. So you get boku ways and way you can structure for let you make sure so you maximize revenue. And a lot of cities then now they don't respond and get what they call property cadastral, where they map all household, you value the households, and you put her into a system where you make sure say the revenue will come in and it will be generated in an accountable way. But you get some of them district and they didn't get property cadastral, so you get more embargo to say some of the councils that will get you get Bombaligo talk Kenny, then they at an advanced stage for get a property cadastral system. But how effective it is a different thing altogether. Within this project they do, this project not just let go beyond property cadastral. For example, if you look at bat burial permits where councils they can give, some of them function and they would then devolve, like, for example, bat registration. As a matter of fact, registration of bat is devolved. So it's easy for civil society. You actually take waiting NCRA, they talk about the number of people that would then die last year, and you ask the local council how much you actually generate per burial permit we issue. And this is now more big town, they talk about villages. Okay. Business registration. So with the CC NRA data, they go one way in terms of businesses, then money they get from businesses. Local council data, they go one way. So in how do we reconcile central government and data and NRA then data? So you can get we get a long way for go for make sure so we structure the council well, the councils then well for let them collect revenue. Okay. We see a lot of informality in terms of revenue collection. So one of the things that they support them, how do we formalize revenue collection? And the more you make them formalize, the more you make them transparent and open, okay, the better it can be.
You mentioned say this project you look at two things: one, provide service delivery, and also improve revenue for local councils across the country. But also this survey they look at how the guide local councils for develop plan we go capture the basic things that we then need for the various communities. But now we look at government, the medium-term national development plan, because government don't develop a medium-term national development plan from 2024 to 2030. How this plan will not help for guide local councils they able for match up with the national medium-term development plan?
Thank you very much. So now that make the strongest partner we'll get for this project now the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development, where they call MOPED. So MOPED don't develop guidelines drawing from the MTND when at the Medium-Term National Development Plan. MOPE don't develop guidelines where 9 all local councils and for Fala where they develop them plans. Now that guideline the 9 IGR and partners and they use for support the local councils. It's their plan. So too often, one of the things that we'll find out when they look at this, all done consultation, we consult with close to 4,000 citizens across the country. In the 6th district, then the question would ask, what do you really want to see in your plan for health, for education, for energy? Then get boku team. So then last week we sit down now with the ministries then we say now so people then feel that this they want to do. In fact, Nayanda they see how MOPE chair the meeting last week. They see the convergence between waiting the central want and waiting the district they want. Now this really then make for me the base project very important, because Sierra Leone we see a lot of disconnect, and country they can talk a country the way so divided. One of the ways they for really bring them together now for promote decentralization. Why this important? This important because where the Ministry of Health, for example, the plan, where the Ministry of Education, the plan, the plan say let us do education for SLPP areas. In the plan for let us do education for the children of Sierra Leone. So now that make Falaba Tonkolili, Karine, they might have voted for APC, but what's in the inside the plan for education, now the Minister of Education and your plan, in fact it's part of the performance contract. So this project here is seen to be fulfilling the central level and performance contract. One of the things that will be see clear disconnect between what's in the central they think and what's in the locals and they see.
Yeah, because that brings me to my next question. The central government already gets a plan, and also local councils them as well they try for develop plan. Let's make it think say and local councils them get for develop another plan. We already get an existing plan.
No, in fact, by law, local councils for develop plan. They're not by law.
Apart from the central plan,
yes, apart from the central plan. Yes, but even you said now you host the plan. All man for plan. So planning not just the central government they do. Planning is done at the local level. In fact, if I select planning be done at the chiefdom level. You know why down there necessary? Because the resources they're not boku. So the chiefdom will talk say this year now this will get. Now one culvert now they do. In fact, one part of the thing the way base they try for see how do we build trust, because citizens like you want boku thing, but central government, local government, even chiefdom authorities they can get little for provide. So waiting base they try for do, base they say if you communicate with you want do, you communicate the resources we get for that project day, there is a possibility for let them build trust between citizens and authorities. So now that make planning at the heart of all of this. Now how do we support planning within the councils?
Okay, now let's look at what you hope for see at the end of this project. What are the benefits we'll go get?
I think the biggest thing we want for see now trust. How do citizens trust authorities? And one of some of the ways then of doing that, that's small thing we get how we effectively utilize them. With the talks to one raise revenue, with the talks to one improve services. But on that, the main driver for all of this now that trust between citizens and authorities, especially local authorities. Of course, then the next big objective for this project now for improved services. So if you go online, if you look at the base project we approved by USAID, with USAID the fund, it get clear indicators like one panel now how for reduce maternal mortality in under 5 children under 5 and woman that will die per born, the woman that will die per born. So this project, not to project number with civil society, the Halapa government, for example. So this project will say now civil society na that particular locality there, na Tonkolili, and the local government na Tonkolili, and the Ministry of Health na Tonkolili, they want to see how they can help for we picking they die per belle, or woman they die per belle, per born. How then they go reduce? So then they actually engage. When they engage, now that make that we talk just now about that LGST. They look at the dashboard. On that dashboard, they see Sonkolili then scorecard. See if this month, because every 6 months the results for come out. If the results for this 6 months, if a bad say Bokubele woman and die this 6 months na Sonkolili, everybody they sit down and talk say what's the responsibility? Me civil society, what you are not do? Is it that I not raise better awareness about let people then come na hospital woman and let pregnant woman and come to hospital as quickly as possible? The same with education. So this one of the results we want to see is really how do we foster a good working relationship between citizens and authorities. The other one we'll get agriculture with farming households. How do we measure farming households? I mean, this is really complicated. Some people like to talk say one of the best way for measure agriculture and how many people then really get job for it. But beyond that, now the income where the farmer they get. So in the baseline we don't develop, the baseline they clearly show in their district there, any farmer we did it, which is the average income we they get. At the end of the day, we want to see a shift in that income. Then that make it's of interest to the Ministry of Agriculture for letting the Ministry of Agriculture see them district them plan and see say if we not do X, Y, and Z, we not going to only increase yield of farmers then, but we not going to increase revenue for farmers there. So I think so one of the things that we want to achieve, which to me is most important, so we don't start decentralization about 20 years ago. But this project they actually see and promoted by civil society, how local councils and central government they work collaboratively for promote service delivery.
Continue for the with me inside the program, Mr. Lavalie. Adeyemi.
The program now Good Morning Saloon, and they come to you from Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We they take one power with headlines to read them inside the Director General of the Saloon Public Transport Authority, Isaac and Green say the reason we make them pull the national flag in color by the work and fine bus then and replace them with betting company now because the company they give support to the bus the operation of the country. Isaac and Green talk this inside the every Tuesday press briefing where the Ministry of Information and Civic Education they organize for give update to the public but waiting to happen at governance. Jafferman's Davis get more and gonna report. Look at the messages and we don't come inside the program, and I'll go start from 077 981 981 981 981. This one say Freetown is the third prone disaster city in the world, and now symptoms are emerging. Issuance of building permit must not be a child's play. This one they come off from King Solo.
This one from Mark 10, he say the collapse of buildings in Sierra Leone is really alarming. We need statement from a National Disaster Agency and Freetown City Council because the condition of those trapped still remains unclear, and it fears that the number of casualties may rise if rescue operations are delayed further.
This one from 077981981 say, Mr. Lavalie, what do IGR hope to achieve in the future through this survey? Also, what are we going to benefit as a nation? This one they come up from Mark 10 and New England.
This one from SD Leone is say, please can the guests explain how they conduct this survey?
This one with 077981981 say, what do you mean democracy fails? Democracy is a principles, basic truth of government. It's the arms of government that fails, including government institutions, ministries, departments, and agencies.
This one from Mohammed Shaka Sanko is saying, Mr. Presenters, to be honest with you, corruption is too much in Sierra Leone. It inside with DNA.
This one with 077981981 say, Mr. Lavalie, how informed are the people that respond to your survey?
This other one say, what is the amount in terms of funding and how many here this project will take?
This one say, please can you explain how we conduct this survey? I heard you talk about 1,000 Sierra Leoneans.
And this other one from Junior, you see why some of our fellow citizens are still wasting time talking about 2023 elections when they know 100% that nothing will change.
This one now is 077981981 say cassava is our second staple food. What is the government doing to promote those people involved in Gary production in Bo?
This one say, Mr. Lavalie, how can I get some of your surveys?
This one on Facebook page say, to stop corruption in Sierra Leone, the government and the people are the one who's supposed to stop it.
This one for Super Caps Food, they say most of the newly constructed buildings are poorly designed and constructed, as the owners are in haste to collect rent after fast construction. So sad for our country.
This one on Facebook page say, may the souls of the departed ones rest in perfect peace. The government should now be proactive by putting systems and processes in place to stop the occurrence of such incidents. This one they come up from Super Caps now Facebook page.
This one from Veronica Kanu concerning the WAS. He say the WAS Boku of the Peking them not able to verify. Boku say they not see that message. They not see the message quick one. One Prince of Wales Bobo say we say nah. Okay, this one also clear.
This one on Facebook page say government should have more enforcement on building inspections. I strongly believe that most of these disasters are due to poor constructions and substandard material used in these structures. This one they come up from Abubakar Rashid.
The last one I will take for now from Abubakar Rashid. The same also say Wakabot go don't go catch fish, it don't fly away.
This one from Bashiru Bundokan on Facebook page say building code developed without including professional institutions like the Sierra Leone Institute of Engineer will be another big mistake.
Alright, that now some of the messages them. Mr. Lavalie, messages sending for you to respond to them.
Yeah, thank you very much. And again, so on behalf of IGR, myself, they join when I say for give condolences for the one that were involved in the disaster will happen. So whilst all of this they happen, we know say where urbanization become unplanned, you go see the situation in there. So you go see say Salon at one place who say, you know, especially Freetown, you know, they get building code. Where you come outside of, you know, Shaka Stephen Street, you know, who say the colonial authorities and the plan, where you go outside of that and they, you know, post-independence will not really get much planning. So today with a build and waterways, but the I think say it go useful for really, you know, let engineers them, I mean expert them really go find out where and see why else would they talk say Sierra Leone one of the most disaster prone country, but why disaster really big. But and we could say kudos to Freetown City Council and the disaster management agency. This year now one of the biggest, now will get the biggest rainfall. In fact this year maybe they talk say in fact disaster for big this year, but because of the responsiveness with the CCA disaster, even though it happened, but it kind of minimal. But to the specific questions there for me, what you want, what are the benefits of this project? Clearly we don't state them. You get thousands of citizens now the district that would work, then go benefit from improved service delivery. This project not the dig water well, the build us. Within this project they do this project to try for create more stronger interaction between citizens and authorities. And this project therefore ensures say we increase revenue levels of the councils and what they look at. So you improve services, increase revenue levels. Somebody asked for the methodology we'll use. Sales methodology when I use for the Afrobarometer survey. I think saying I think this will get for the continuously talk. Afrobarometer survey, they employ standard methodology we would employ now 35 to 37 countries then across Africa, and now a gold standard way that same methodology that you do 100 times, now the same results you get within the same circumstance. We will do the survey. So now 1,200 randomly selected respondents across Sierra Leone, and with the CC that they give different weighting to the districts depending on the population. So Statistics Sierra Leone, the sampling frame now they likely use at any time when they do the survey. Somebody say democracy fail or the government they fail. So both can fail. So if democracy, they said not to democracy they fail, now government and they fail. So sometimes they both can fail. So now I make this the data they show say we don't appreciate democracy. A lot of Sierra Leoneans, over 80% they talk say democracy now want to any system of government. But we watch that democracy, that mean always they go vote, and we see say we want for let the court work accountably, let the law get freedom of information. Is it translating into results? If it's not translating into results, how do we perfect it? So this project now for make sure say that democracy they will all uphold, it translates into better results. So somebody to talk about how informed are people. Somebody no need for being informed for they ask them whether he don't eat. So really largely this is a perception of people about the circumstance, they live perception. You will able to get all of the results there online. So if you go Afrobarometer online, you will get them. If you want to get Sierra Leone specific information, just go na IGR the website. You will see all of we research work then published online. So it's out there, yes.
All right. Somebody say how you could talk to 1,000 people out of 7 million people and get this result.
That's really interesting. So you can actually talk to 1,000 people and get results for 7 million people. So normally I can talk about sampling like how you want cook for it. So if you want taste for let you know say salt do pares, salt don't do plasas, you don't need for take one whole bowl. Which they do, not too small no more you take. Now small you take, you say no, this the salt pass mark the salt not do. So now you call sampling. So for let you do that sampling day, for let you make sure say the salts they all say you get for mix and fine. Inside survey with the color randomization, you get for make sure say me and the person where they go na field you not get any discretion as to whether they interview. So now if I say you know say in this country if you go no more na Abo and Kenema, you say I don't take 1,000 people in Abo and Kenema, then I talk for salon, you'll get the results where they get. If you say you don't go talk to 1,000 people in Apotloko and Bombali, you get the results where they get. So when they say randomization, now we they make sure say every Sierra Leonean, any South side it gets a fair chance to be spoken to. When you do that one day for 1,000 people, then you do that randomization statistically, would represent the country. You go able to forget the results. So that it's a gold standard way 9 they try around the world. 9 we apply in Sierra Leone. Okay,
this last one will take say what's involved in terms of funding and how many year project is?
It's $3.3 million for 3 years. So and it's for 5 organizations.
All right, plenty. Thank you for joining me inside the program this morning. In name Andrew Lavalie, the Executive Director for Institute for Governance Reform. As we be there inside the program this morning, we look at democracy and same also look at a project we in the building accountability systems through empowered communities project with 5 civil society that they do for promote accountability na 6 districts in the country.